Welcome back to Talking with TOT, the podcast where real stories create real empowerment. I'm your host, Todd Carter. On this podcast, we highlight entrepreneurs, professionals, and community leaders who are using their journey to inspire others and turn challenges into purpose. Today's guest is someone who helps people reposition themselves professionally, build confidence, and walk boldly into new opportunities. Today, we are joined by Angela Holton, the founder of the Recruiter Spot, a career development service to helping professionals strengthen their resumes, prepare for interviews, and position themselves for career advancement. Angela holds a bachelor's degree in English and a master's in human resource management. She is a certified technical trainer, SHRMCP certified, and a diversity recruiter who is passionate about helping individuals recognize their value in the workplace. She is also a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She was initiated spring 1999 through Epsilon Xi chapter of Indiana State University. Through her work, Angela is helping people transform not only their resumes, but also their confidence and career paths. Angela, welcome to Talking with TOT Podcast.
Hey, excited.
Yes, definitely wanted to bring you on. Angela, before founding the Recruiter Spot, what was your professional journey that led you into recruiting and human resources?
Okay. I've been in human resources for over 15 years now. So right out of college, I tried teaching for just a little while. So I did English education for just a little bit, but decided to come out of the classroom, but still have a passion for learning and for teaching as well. So after going into corporate and working in HR and industries from finance, health and ABA, mental health therapy, grocery retail, and supply chain, I faced layoffs a couple of times in the last 10 years, really 3. And so I wanted to be a resource to those that were just like me or that needed the help that I wish I had during my search. So,
Absolutely. I too have experienced a layoff before. I've also resigned before. So I do understand when you are transitioning to, going from not having a job to not working.
yeah.
That could be a very vulnerable time, for people. So I'm glad that you decided to help in that area.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
What inspired you to create the Recruiter Spot?
Okay. So I think it's a gap. It's really a gap in process from graduating college and getting that certificate. They don't really teach you this portion of it. And you're never taught, even along the way in your career when you're looking to transition. It's a bunch of unspoken rules to interviewing, to the job search, and to transitioning within your career, whatever that may be, that no one speaks of. You don't know how to do it until it's time. No one wants to be in this space consistently because the only way you learn to do it is to be in this space. And so I just took my expertise along the way, just my knowledge in HR period, and then my time having to apply for positions during my layoffs or transitions within my career. I really wanted to be that resource to help those along the way and be that guidance for them, whether they are pivoting in their career or whether they're just starting out and fresh into the industry.
I think your internet is glitching.
I know I see you frozen a little bit back and
And see,
forth.
it's showing you frozen for me.
So is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I don't know whose it is. I don't know if it's mine or yours. Mine's been a little bit today, but I bumped mine up so that I wouldn't have freezes in my internet service.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll just we'll go to our next question. And I can always cut that out and bring that back in. It's no problem.
Okay.
All right. Okay, it's good now. From your experience as a recruiter, what is the biggest mistakes people make when writing their resumes?
Not fully articulating their worth, putting unnecessary information on the resume, information that could easily incite biases such as ageism. So including dates on your graduation, those sorts of things, things that aren't needed. Addresses and photos are really a huge one. They think that it's, something that sets them apart, but it really incites biases, whether it is racial, whether it is familial, whether it is gender, whether it is ageism, all of those. So much can be told by your resume. And those are some of the little nuances that people do that they don't realize could really be hindering them from entering a role.
You're right about that, because recently I had one of my friends to look over my resume, and she was like, take your address off. And then I also did like one online. I'm still going to get you to do mine though. Because I know that somewhere my resume is not cutting it anymore. And because I'm not even getting called for interviews. I had a soror, she recommended me for a job, reached out to the recruiter, but she didn't follow back up with me to like get her on it. But when I pushed my resume to her, she didn't pick me, to even come in for an interview. And so it was like my resume has to be looking some type of way, because my friend knew I had the qualification, or else she wouldn't even recommended me. And then she sent my name to the person. So yeah, you have to make sure that your resumes look well.
Yeah, absolutely. That is very important. And that all of the information that represents you best is near the top. I tell everyone, for recruiters and hiring managers, you've got about 10 seconds to catch them, if that. We're not reading through lengthy resumes. We're not reading through lengthy cover letters. We need to look quickly, make sure that it is clear, concise, very legible, bulleted, so that we're not trying to, trudge through paragraphs of information, that we can quickly pull out the skill set that you have and see if it quickly aligns. And then we're on to the next, because we could easily have 200, 300, 400, 500 resumes for one position. So that is definitely important. And then also for the situation that you just had, use your network, not in a negative way in this situation, but for growth and for learning purposes, even if it is your friend, to say, hey, what about my resume didn't stand out to that recruiter? If you work with her, can you please ask her, why did she quickly overlook? Was it something internal, or was it something specific on my resume that didn't show and didn't articulate what I actually bring?
Absolutely. That's good information. Thank you for that. Can you share a story about someone whose resume you helped transform and how it changed their career opportunities?
Absolutely. I had a more seasoned professional that was looking to pivot in her career. And just like we spoke of, there were tons of things that dated her on the resume that was getting her turned away, we think, repeatedly. So we revamped her resume by changing some of the small things. You wouldn't believe an old email address that is a Hotmail email address or an AOL email address that says and speaks volumes to hiring managers or recruiters. If it is AOL, that's 100% saying that you are well over 40, okay? If you are well over 40 and still using an outdated email like AOL, what does that say about you? What does that say? Are you very hard to conform? Can you evolve into today's time? So little bitty things like that, changing and updating email addresses, removing some of those outdated materials, references available upon request. Some of those things aren't needed, even down to back in our day with typing those 2 spaces after a period that we would use. some of those things aren't needed in dead giveaways that you may be a seasoned employee, a seasoned or tenured professional, which to them could represent or indicate that this is just a quick stop for you, that you may not be in the role long, that you may be on your way out, the industry at all. So we were able to revamp that resume, take some of those nuances off, and she was able to land a position in the field that she wanted with about a $25,000 pay increase at that.
That's good. And you're so right when you said it, because I was thinking about one of my cousins. She had presented her resume for a job where she was overqualified. She has a master's in healthcare administration. So everything that they were asking for, she had it exceeded, because they was really just asking for a bachelor's. But the lady went to her LinkedIn, and because she did not update her resume, saying that I think it was like she was over 20 people, but it had reduced down to, because of cuts, down to 14. The lady said that the reason why she didn't go with her, because she did ask, and she said it was because she had incorrect information on her resume.
Yeah. They go to LinkedIn and that resume, and they compare all the time. They compare all the time. So, and I'm guilty of it, but I'm a little bit more of a researcher as well. So if the information is somewhat aligned, then I want to know the backstory. What are the gaps, and tell me, because I am not a hiring manager that sees a gap in employment and says that's a negative thing. Because what happened in that time? Did you upskill during that time? Did you raise a family during that time? Did you care for a family member during that time? So I think all of those things matter. Did you have health issues during that time? So a lot of those things matter. And so it takes a different kind of recruiter. And I know we are all busy. Like I said, it can be 500 resumes per one job opening, but still taking that time to really find the best candidate. And it may be that candidate that was out of the industry for 2 years. And so that doesn't make them any less of a skilled candidate.
I took myself off LinkedIn.
Did you? What do you use now? And lots.
I just push my resume. I don't use anything, because I felt like, why am I not getting called back? And I said, okay, maybe it's the LinkedIn. So I just used my regular resume, and I had it where you can't even search me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's one thing that I have.
And lots feel like LinkedIn has become another social media platform. And in instances, it has, there's birthday shout outs, and there's, all types of things.
I know one girl, I'm sorry to cut you off. One girl, she started her podcast, and she trended on LinkedIn. I would never think of LinkedIn for promoting my podcast, but she did very well doing that and got so many people to subscribe to her from LinkedIn on the podcast.
Very much so. Very much so. It has its own algorithm, and a lot of people are now coming from LinkedIn because it's getting a little bit oversaturated with some of the things you just said, because everybody had that epiphany, like, oh, I'm going to go over here now. So it got kind of saturated, and everybody is coming off. But that means that it's opening back up again for those that are still interested in doing it. So I think it has its place, and I think that it can be beneficial, but it is kind of getting masked as just another social platform, like some of the others.
Many people apply for job after job and never hear back. What advice would you give people who feel overlooked and discouraged in this job market?
Strategy. People think that applying to 200 and 300 positions increases their chances of actually landing one. And it is more so of strategy. If you are unemployed and seeking a position, create a boundary and a straight schedule for you that has start and stop times, that has networking time, that has actual job application times, that has breaks during your day, that has some motivation and meditation and self-affirmation time as well, because the process is really, really, really crucial. There are going to be rejections. Understand that. Do not use, but still use those rejections as leeways for opportunity to move forward. So if you get a rejection from a hiring team, don't automatically delete it. Follow up with them and let them know, thank you. I am naturally disappointed that you moved forward with another candidate, but please keep me in mind. I'm still interested in the company and this is still what I offer. So that rejection is still an opportunity to forge a relationship for something else. So, job after job, the rejection and the brain declination during that process is normal. It comes with it. But if you set boundaries and have a strategic plan, then it is lessened.
Mm-hmm. All right. As a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, service and sisterhood are important values. How has this sisterhood influenced your leadership and the way that you serve others through your business?
Oh my, we help each other, right? And service to all mankind. And I speak a lot of time on my lives. These platforms are definitely a means for additional income, but the amount of people that you can reach and help, that text that says, oh my God, Angela, I got the job, or that text when I'm giving an offer, I can hear in the background the squeals. So that is what pushes me forward. Actually being that resource that I needed during that time. Sorors do what they do. They will support, and we love on each other, and we mention names in rooms that each other are not even in. So I stay close to the shield. Absolutely.
I love that too. I was just online a few minutes ago making some posts because literally when I dropped the other episode, because you're going to be, I think you're episode 4 of my '08 series. And they started going over to my YouTube channel, subscribing to my channel. So today I had to thank them. And then I had some more coming on there saying, we just want to run it up. So yes. And I'm really appealing to them right now because I know that it's part of my niche to help me grow my platform. So I am definitely using the Soros right now in that capacity. So yeah, they show up and show out.
Just even if and we want the masses, but even if you stuck to your chapter over the years and all of your chapter members, whether it's undergrad and grad or grad or whatever, followed you or subscribe to your podcast. Like, we have numbers and we have people in everywhere, all sorts of spaces. And so helping each other, absolutely, we can win.
And that's how the whole '08 series came about, because I was interviewing, not just because they were sorority members and I couldn't, sister, and I couldn't find nobody else. It was just like, I'm looking and everybody have a business or entrepreneur and they're so talented. So I find myself getting them on. And I was just like, do a series.
There's probably not
promoted
area that we are not in. There's just not. There's no space, no industry in and leading, might I say.
And they are doing really, I'm so proud. Like everyone that I picked for my '08 series, I was very impressed when I went to their profile to see what it was they were doing. And then I love to get when they're telling me, oh, I have my master's, I have this, that, and the third. And I'm like, give me all the information because I want to say it in your bio. And I love that.
Awesome.
And they love to hear their bio. When I read their bio back, they're like, well, thank you.
I know.
So it's just love. It's just love.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Space. Absolutely. I'm super, super proud of you.
Yes, thank you. All right. So entrepreneurship isn't always easy. What is one of the biggest challenges you face when starting the recruiter spot?
Having my own voice. After being in corporate for so long, I presented the ideas of the company. I gave that company, and I was on their mission, their values. And so being able to represent my own voice and my expertise, not by a template or by their mission or guide. So being able to represent who I am and what my experience is and what my expertise is and where it comes from, and being able to stand in that.
Absolutely. And then also you're a brand.
Yes.
So it's it's like, and that's what I tell other people and whatever. I'm like, you are the brand.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to promote and you're going to work harder for yourself, because the recruiter spot, that's you.
Yep.
Because you work closely with employers. What are companies really looking for that many job seekers may overlook?
I think flexibility and adaptability. Someone that is able to, quickly pivot from one thing to the next. One of the things that's constant in any company or organization is going to be change. Change is just what it is, and it's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. Someone that is able to quickly pivot from one space, from one thing to the next, is going to be important in each step.
Mm-hmm. You do. Even when you're answering questions on those surveys that they give you,
Mm-hmm.
they'll ask you stuff like that to trip you up, whether or not you're a person who is a stickler to stuff, or if you're open to pivoting. So yeah.
Yep. And that's going to be at any level of your career. So that is a skill, if you're able to seamlessly pivot, a skill that is amazing to have at any level.
Mm-hmm. What are 3 things someone should do immediately if they want to elevate their career or become competitive in today's job market?
Know the industry, one, that they are entering or planning to go into. Have a plan and upskill. Make sure that you have a skill set that matches where you're trying to go.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that. For someone listening who feels stuck in their job that they've outgrown, what would you say to encourage them today?
I think one word that you said in that is outgrown, which again is an amazing thing because it shows growth, that you are growing and you are changing for the better. A lot of times when people say that or feel like they've outgrown a position, it doesn't always require a big dramatic leap or change, or I have to leave this role. Assess what you have right there, depending on where you are in your career. Is it taking on additional tasks? Is it making sure that you are a little more visible to other departments and providing that visibility on things that you can do right there? Or is it a pivot right in your company, taking on a new role or moving and changing departments and changing a little bit about what your normal to do was? So allow that to be a catalyst for growth and for change and movement for you as well. So stuck and outgrowing something is not a negative thing.
I noticed that a lot of people now, they are in jobs that they're saying that it's toxic. So what has been your experience, being a recruiter, listening to when people come to you about explaining how toxic jobs are right now?
Oh, I've heard some horrific things. Hence all of the lawsuits and EEOC claims and things that happen. And I think you have to have a plan, again, and be able to recognize those things that are going on or that maybe happen that you deem toxic. Always be ready. What do they say? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I am one that says always continue to have your resume updated every month or week or quarter that you are having your sit downs or your one-on-ones with your managers. If you are working on projects, if you are mentoring others, all of these great things that you're accomplishing, keep them in a file, write them down once a month, add them to your resume. So when it's time to pivot, or if you need to quickly make a pivot into another role, you're ready. Never stop interviewing. So if you are content in your career and you are still there, I'm not saying interview every week, but every little while, throw your resume out there and go on those interviews so that you continue to exercise that muscle. Because again, interviewing is not something that you are just skilled at naturally. It takes practice, and you don't get that practice until you are in the field ready. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Make sure that you at all costs, protect yourself, protect your mental health, use your resources, use proper documentation, smart documentation while you're on the job, so that you are always protected, and stay ready to pivot.
That's a good answer. All right, so we're going to go into our round of rapid fire round. It's our fun and quick. All right, so finish the sentence. A strong resume should always
Represent the total you.
Mm-hmm. That's good. One word that describes your leadership style.
Collaborative.
Okay. What is the biggest myth people believe about job hunting?
That the more resumes or applications you send out are complete, the more opportunities you have, or the easier it is to obtain a position.
Oh, wow. All right, Angela, your story reminds us that opportunity isn't just found, it's positioned. Through the recruiter spot, you're not just placing candidates, you're placing confidence, clarity, and courage back into people's lives. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I want to thank you, Angela, for empowering others to see their worth, not only on paper, but in every opportunity they pursue. Before we go, Angela, let our listeners know how they can follow you on social media and connect with you for your services.
Yep. On all platforms, I am therecruiterspot.com. You can reach me by email at angela.holton@therecruiterspot.com. And as always, I am getting you from the interview table into your dream role, and I want you to win.
Absolutely. That is good. All right. And everyone listening, if this episode inspired you, encouraged you, or gave you insight in leveling up your career, be sure to share this episode with someone who needs it. You also stay connected with me by following Talking with Todd on TikTok and my official Instagram, Talking with Todd, on to empower others through real stories, real journeys, real conversations that help people overcome obstacles and step into purpose. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and keep empowering others. All right. Thank you so much, Angela.
Bye. Thank you.
All right.